So what I want to do is show you a little demo of our system. Now, some of this you're going to have to kind of use your imagination a little bit because I only have a very limited amount of time, and so I can't show you everything. But if you're interested and you got an hour of time to kill, hour and 15 minutes, we can show you the whole thing and do a proper demo. But this is our portal. And underneath the portal, there's a couple different things going on from a services standpoint. We have a content management solution, a composition solution that is working under the covers, as well as we have, again, Ricoh Process Director that kind of manages the workflow for the content management and composition tool, as well as we also have a service delivery component, really kind of driving stuff to a multi-channel delivery solution, which is e-presentment and payment solution as a service, as well as we have the capability of sending out any type of output to a print service provider or back to a customer's production center in any format that they choose as well. So with our service, we also have capabilities like that's just, I think the speaker system is not a ghost, I swear. But we have the capabilities for customers go into proof approval. We have capabilities for customers to go in and look at archived documents, capabilities to do, I think Scott talked about onboarding. So one of the components of onboarding is putting all the details about the job that's going to go to maybe a PSP into a job ticket format that can actually be placed into the print file as a banner page. So we have all those capabilities that Ricoh has built out as a service. So what Mark's going to do right now is he's actually going to upload a file that is going to then produce, it's going to actually hit our composition tool, it's going to hit our enterprise content management solution, pull the templates, and then produce a output. And that's what he's doing right now. So he's actually uploading the file. I'm going to get some emails here in a second and some text messages once I approve this document. So, and this is a fully integrated solution. So once he's done, he's going to go over to Ricoh Process Director, and he can see the file processing in our workflow tool. So for some of you that have Ricoh Process Director, this should look very familiar. The Wi-Fi is a little slow here, so he's probably about 10 steps ahead of us right now. But again, we have Ricoh Process Director actually monitoring and processing, looking at the data, looking at the composition, doing what it needs to do with the metadata and such with the file itself. And we're tracking everything that's going on at a transaction level, so at a piece level. Everything that we do in the system is done at a piece level, even though we may receive a batch file. So once that job is done, he's actually going to go out and, because we've set it up for the demo, is to go out and proof that job, just like a customer would want to proof a job prior to it going into production, right? And that's one of the requests that we've had for many of our customers is that capability of going in once it goes through composition, but before it goes into production, maybe for the first time, I may want to do hot 20s, or I may want to see the production file and what it looks like prior to going into production. So we put a proofing capability into our system that allows, and this one's actually branded Ricoh Healthcare, but it could be branded for any customer that we have, and we don't really, Ricoh doesn't really have a healthcare service, just so you know. We have one for financial, one for different industries. We just like the Ricoh Healthcare one. And he's going to go in and actually look at that job processing and pull up that file. And once he pulls up that file, he's going to actually pull up one of the documents in the file and show you what that document looks like. So that is an image of the document for, who is that? That's for me. So I owe some amount of money, $176. But we put QR codes on here. We have messaging that could be part of this. We can do own certs integrated with this. Again, for healthcare, we can put in educational pieces in this. Again, if this is a bill that's going to go out to a PSP to be printed, we have all the components on there that the healthcare customer would need to pay that bill with the buck slip. Go to the second page, Mark. It's a little risky doing a live demo in front of everybody, but what the heck. Has my summary of my charges. Obviously, I'm from Tennessee, so I needed some speech therapy. I had some emergency meds, I guess. I got a little issue. I can't really talk about it in this group, but I owe $176. Shows the discounts that I have, maybe based on the insurance company or insurance carrier that I'm using. And then other information. Can you scroll down, Mark? And so that's really my invoice. And there could be 2 million people in this file, or 100,000 people. It doesn't, you can go proof as many people as you want through this system. Go back to the main portal or main screen so we can approve it. So now we're, once we proof it, we're going to want to approve it, right? You want to know who's approving it. So we track everything that's being done in our system. So in this case, he's going to go in and put in he's approving it. So he's the approver for this. He's going to hit OK. And it's going to go through, and now it's going to process that statement. And now I'm actually going to receive a text message, because based on my preferences, I actually want 2 things. I said I want a text message to tell me that my bill's online ready to go pay, and I actually want an email. Most people would choose one or the other. But being that normally when we do a demo, we'll get people's phone numbers and emails, and they can interact with the demo, but because I don't know anybody's phone number here except for Lawrence, and he's seen it, and Marion, we can't do that, so I'm going to kind of do that for you. So I'm going to, on my phone, and I'm not going to show you this, but I've received a text message that says my bill is ready to be viewed. And I can actually go on my phone, just like you would your bill at home, and I can actually view this information. It takes a little bit of a minute because I only got 2 bars to pull it up. And I can view this information online. Or, since I've received an email, and we'll wait for this to come up, I can actually go to my Ricoh email. Nobody look. And I can view my bill either as a PDF, or it actually came down here, and I can actually pay it online if I want. If I want to view it as a PDF, I can. And we have secure PDF capability within our system. So I can pull up my PDF and look at my bill, which looks exactly like what we just proofed, right? So I can view it. I owe 100 and whatever dollars. This was a different one. Hang on. I may have another one in here. Wait a minute. Did I choose the wrong one? I think I did. Has it came through yet, Mark? Okay. So I have my bill online. This was $176, what you just seen. Now this is on a mobile app. So when we talk about omni-channel, we're really delivering omni-channel capabilities through our system. So whether you've seen it as a print file a minute ago, let me just pull up this PDF. I think this is one I was playing with earlier. So that PDF right there looks, very similar to the colors and the capabilities on the mobile piece, but it also is formatted for the mobile device. So if I took that same thing and said I wanted to look at it from an iPad standpoint, now it looks like the same thing I have here. I have it on my iPad, but it's formatted differently because the iPad's different. Now the cool thing is the iPad's bigger, so you guys can see it a little bit better. But I can go in and look at my statement information. I can go in and look at my information. I can find a physician. And my Wi-Fi connection's not working because let's see here. Why not? I broke it. If it worked like it was supposed to, see, this is why you never want to do a demo online. Just kidding. So I can actually go to my physician. It'll find me a physician in my area code that is in my network. And I can use Google to go find the closest physician to my house. So there's a lot of capabilities these systems have that allows you to take advantage of from just when you're looking at omni-channel communication, we're really delivering it in our services solution. So if I go back to I'm trying to look at, let me go to my email. So from this standpoint, once we actually have gone through and, let me go back to here. So we know our process ran. We know that we've received our text message. I can actually go in and pay my bill online just using the text message. So, just like anything else, you can go in and say P for pay, or I can do pay now on my the web presentment, or I can do through my email where it says pay online. I have that capability of doing that within my on whichever channel or preference that I chose to receive that information. I can do that and receive that information and pay it on any of my devices that I chose to receive that. So in this case, I can hit pay now, and it'll take me to my online tool, and I can actually pay it there, or I can just hit P for pay, which I'm going to do, and I just paid my invoice for that $179 or $76 that I owed. So from there, most of you guys know how this process works, but now we're going to go back to the home screen, Mark, and we're going to go look at, we track everything the customer's doing on our service. We can actually provide reporting. So there's two levels of reporting that we provide. First, we provide a standard set of reporting in our services that basically talks about service level. So we're pulling information potentially back from the service provider or from the operation, so we can track on the actual hard copy print that went out the door. But we're also tracking everything that goes through our e-presentment payment, who paid, how they paid. We integrate it with Mandrill, MailChimp, Message Tech, and Message Media for IVR and for text message. So we have all those integrations built into our system already. But we can integrate with other email providers, as long as they have APIs or web service calls that we can actually use. We can integrate with other service providers because we have some customers that have their own service provider that they want to use. It's all very, very flexible. If you go to the reporting tool, Mark, so we have different levels of reporting, and you can actually drill down on the reporting. So in this case, we have SLA status. This is our demo, so we missed some SLAs. We have SLAs percentage met by customer, or could be by job, or could be by a number of different variables that you may choose to, that you're tracking for SLA management. And then turn times. How fast am I getting this stuff out? Well, on the e-presentment and payment side, you're getting that stuff out fast. On the print side, you're kind of trying to determine what my turn times are for the work that I'm producing from a print standpoint. You can drill down on the bars and get down to the data level so you can see the actual data underneath the charts. Go to, we have a jobs by due date report. Go to the due date report tab. So if you're tracking your print through here, there's a report on here that shows what's past due, what's due today. So even production can participate in this as far as knowing what's due out, what's past due, why. Well, it could be a low stock, or it could be no stock. I didn't have enough stock to do that job, or whatever. We can comment that information in there and know, and so at a glance why a job is past due. Typically it's because there's something that caused that job not to go. Could be an error, could be a corrupt file that was received in print. So whatever that is, we can track and record in our system and know what, all the jobs, so we can actually help manage production a little bit better with some of the reporting that we have. We also have reporting on the e-presentment and payment. You want to show them that, Mark? Are you there, Mark? Uh-oh. So we have reporting capability on the e-presentment and payment and following the transactions all the way through. We also have a BI tool connected into our portal, which allows us to do analytics on any of this data. So we can drill down into How many customers are participating or chose email as a preference? How many chose text message? How many chose IVR? And the reason you do stuff like that in that particular case is because there's a different cost for each one of those different methods of delivery. So if you are sending out a marketing campaign because you're trying to push people to do the online, but you want to push them to email because email is a little cheaper than text message, then you can kind of monitor how that's doing through this system. There's different things that you can do. We also get email bounce back. So if it's a bad email, we get email bounce backs from our providers, so we know that that's a bad email. We can have business rules set up around that email to say, you know, if I get a bounce back, and this is a credit card statement, and I have a federal mandate to get that information to the customer, then we can actually just send a hard copy file. So we built this as a service because we have a lot of customers asking for this. So wherever Kimmel was, this is something that our customers are asking. We have customers on the system, using the system. So they can go in, they can develop their templates as a self-service. They can develop their content and put it in our content management system. But then we control the composition. We have composition developers that work in the system. And we can ramp up and ramp down based on the needs of our customers. So for instance, if you have a project coming up and you need to have extra developers on those projects, we can ramp up. And based on where we're at with other projects, or we can ramp down based on your needs. So you're only paying for what you use. And then from the rest of the setup is just really kind of normal setup as you go through the system once we normalize the data and how the process works internally. So this system that we do for a service, we also can, anything that we do as a service we can do for as well. So if an enterprise customer says, you know what, we like this system, but we really want it on our infrastructure, we can actually put this on your infrastructure as well. We provide demos of the system, better than this because for some reason the Wi-Fi is not that great here. But we provide a demo of the whole complete system from content to composition to the whole portal presentation. So, and it's really kind of a one-stop shop for us from a portal standpoint. Everything's encompassed in the portal, so you're really kind of dealing inside that portal to get to the different pieces that are integrated into the system. We also have CAS, NCOA, and PAVE, so we have the capability of when the data comes in, at certain points in the workflow, we can actually perform CAS and NCOA, and if you want us to, if the files are large enough and you're going to sort them off the back of an inserter, you want us to do the PAVE portion and provide the Postal One paperwork and the mail.dat file and all those things, put the IMB on the piece, as long as we have your MEM and grids and all the other things that go along with that, we can perform that functionality as well as a service. We don't print, so we send print to wherever you want us to send the print to. It doesn't matter, and we can send it in AFP, PDF, PostScript. We won't do VIP or some of those other ones, but we'll do most of the major PDL outputs as a service as well. So, told you no PowerPoint presentations. At least I got through most of it before the system crashed. Any questions?
It's launched in Denver.
Huh?
It's launched in Denver.
Oh, well, this is actually not in Denver. This is actually so Ricoh purchased a data center a while back. Some of you guys may know it as Mindshift. It's actually hosted at our Mindshift operation. So we actually have four data centers across the U.S. So we have redundancy and backup for the whole system as well. We have, and just to kind of give you just a couple of quick use cases, and I was serious when we have a large bank that actually bought their own composition tool. They have 3 different composition tools that they're trying to maintain. They're transitioning to one. My team is actually doing all the development for that composition, and it's all hosted at our data center. So we have another insurance company that is using the service that they want to eventually migrate to having composition on their site. Once we build everything in the service in our master license, we can run the program as long as they want us to. When they are ready to purchase their composition tool and they have been trained and and all that, we can then migrate those applications over to them at no cost because they've already paid for us to build them. And then we'll migrate those applications over to them, work with them to get them tested, and make sure that their operator or their developers are up to speed on how we built it and all that transition, and then turn it over to them. And hopefully they'll take advantage of some of the other services that we have, or work with our partners to maybe outsource their print. That gives them a lot of flexibility and control, and it really gives them flexibility on how they want to kind of take over what was being done before by another group, and take that back in-house and leverage their existing infrastructure to run that work. So very flexible system. Love to give you guys a demo if anybody's interested. But Ricoh is getting into the services business. We understand that, I know Kimmel made the comment about, Ricoh's focused on, doesn't want print suppression. Ricoh's focused on the click, and Ricoh's focused on what our customers want. And, and we've made a large investment in this, but not because we just woke up one day and said, we want to do this. Our customers are asking. Now, you got to understand, Ricoh's does a lot of managed services for our customers who are, do a lot of internal managed services. So this is an opportunity for them to take advantage of these type of tools and really take advantage of those services and really move into the future. And this is kind of why this system was built, but we're also speaking about it with our other customers that are looking at maybe this may be a right solution for them. It's already there. You don't have to purchase anything. It's an operating expense versus CapEx. So, any questions?
So RPD, can you tell us in short what it can do?
RPD?
Yeah.
RPD is, Ricoh Process Director is our workflow, if you understand what an ADF is. So in this environment, it's actually because we're sending over a clean file from the composition tool. RPD is kind of tracking everything and really kind of using it as a piece level tracking system. But RPD, for instance, if a customer says, you know what, I have a legacy file. Let's say I have a legacy AFP file that's coming off the mainframe that I really need to convert to PDF, and I want to allow my customers to receive that through web presentment, but maybe part of it's still going to have to go print. So RPD can take that file in, convert it to PDF. We can, RPD can index the metadata off of that file, address, maybe member number, or whatever the case may be that we need to scrape off of that PDF, assuming we're going to convert it to a text-based PDF, so from AFP, if that's just the use case that I'm pointing out. And then we're going to have that metadata sitting in RPD, and then we can add inserter barcodes, we can add the IMB, we can do cast NCOA on the data, and then add the IMB, which probably would be the right thing to do. And then basically prepare that job to really kind of go two different ways. So if it wants to go web presentment, then we prepare it to go over to the web presentment tool. If it needs to go back to the print center to be printed, we can prepare it and send it back over to it with all the media calls and everything that needs to go inside that PDF so it can be printed at your production center or whatever. Now, RPD on site, if you have it as an on-premise solution, does the same thing, except for it's underlying, it's basically doing everything I just said, but it may be creating an inserter control file, like an MRDF or a kick file or a JetVision file or whatever kind of file that you need for your inserter, and it's reading that disposition data back from the inserter, so it's tracking everything as it's going through your operation if it starts out going through RPD, and we're indexing the metadata off of that to prepare it for the rest of the production operations. So it can also run CAS and NCOA and do PAVE if you're, it can integrate with BCC Mail Manager or what used to be Satori, which is now all BCC. And so it integrates with other software that allows it to do other functions. It's really kind of an integration tool to really manage your workflow on the hard copy print side. But we also use it to manage workflows on the digital side as well.
So it is, I guess, so it is installed on a server, so it can work remotely with other servers and all. Means, okay, I have to convert a file AFP to PDF on one server, and then I have to take it to the printer. So can I remotely do all these things?
Yes, you can. No question, Paul? Any other questions? Hopefully this was important and valuable for you. I mean, I know, like I said, Ricoh's moving in all different directions, and so love to talk to you guys more about our solutions. Thank you.